Welcome to the video, everybody. Today we are breaking down Battle Lab by VetTV, and if you love military strategy and red team, blue team, basically the things that I do on every video when I talk about the hypothetical situation, you're gonna love this. So stay to the end of this video to check out how high-level special operations teams real-time play out tactics, techniques, and procedures that could be being played on the battlefield right now. So let's just go ahead and dive right into the video. This is Battle Lab by VetTV.
We will have drone detectors and drone video interceptors that will help us maneuver on the battlefield, along with our normal loadout of small arms, grenades, and smoke.
The strong point scenario will be played out over 8 rounds, with 4 rounds each in the offense and defense for the two teams. Each team will
Oh, nice. They made it into a competition. Surprise, surprise. You have alpha level personalities, whether it's a fighter pilot world or the top tier special operations world. It just helps to turn it into a competition. Then you've got a little more skin in the game.
also have access to mission planning and situational awareness tools before ever stepping foot into the battle space. This looks like a 3-dimensional.
That's high level tech. So in the real world, in the real special operations world, there's systems and setups where you basically have your screen right here, pops down, you can see what's going on, you can see information being pumped to you by drones, or even bigger level drones like MQ-9s, RQ-170s, some of this next level technology. So I think it's awesome. They're bringing us in. This is literally like they're bringing us into the Coliseum, right? Like these are gladiators that are clashing, and they're bringing you in to watch it happen. And you can see how this next level tech gives you this stadium view. You can see all this play out. And so it gives the viewer situational awareness to better understand the combat problem that they're trying to achieve. That's super cool.
Tool built by Reveal Technology called Farsight, which allows them to very quickly assess and understand in high resolution and in 3D the mission operating terrain so that they can make good plans and execute decisions with surety.
Let's get into round 1.
So Alpha Team lost the coin toss, right? So we're on defense. The first target building is building 6. It's a 2-story structure. Take up defensive positions in the target building and around the surrounding area. Provide nice coverage of fire to force our the opposing team. When they do have to make breach inside that building, we're going to force them into fatal funnel and hopefully take advantage of that.
Today, nice. I like that he's using terminology like fatal funnel. I mean, these are terms that top level tier teams are going to use. So they're using that in this situation, and they're using these tactics of trying to funnel in the enemy to where they want them so they can take them down. So again, real world techniques that could be being used, in hot points around the world. Think, Iran, think Cuba, what was potentially used in Venezuela. That kind of stuff is being battled out in Battle Lab, and they're using the terms that a lot of the planners are going to use for these actual operations.
We're going to focus on standoff. So we have the advantage with drones, but we're limited with people. So it's all going to be about leading with the drones, let them set conditions, and then following that with our humans, our ground force, to see.
I love how calm, cool, and collected this guy is. He's like, yeah, drones, we're going up against a superior force. They might, do this or that. They might have tripwires. We don't know. And he's just calm, cool, and collected like a cucumber. I mean, that gives you a little bit of a view of the nervous system of these top level operators. I mean, they're like athletes. So little side notes, when I went through the survival training for the Air Force, we learned little things like, if you can, avoid areas like these dry leaves, because think about a drone with some sort of an acoustic sensor that's up there listening to like a 360-degree pattern around somewhere where a high value target is and can pick up these actual leaves crunching. Who knows, that could be something that's brought into the cross check of these operators on the follow-on rounds.
All right, so for X-Ray Team, we invested 10 minutes up front in order to gain situational awareness through our drones and see if we could strike any of Alpha Team that stayed outside of buildings and exposed themselves.
Nice. Yep, always good. Get the drones out front, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. That's kind of the main principle when it comes to like a massive strike package of fighter jets or a smaller top tier strike package going in to take down a high value target. All starts with ISR and getting those drones up there looking.
You want me to prep for head for the door?
Yeah, we set in a pretty good defensive plan here and force you guys to waste some of your time. and your resources, and then draw you in a lot closer where once the distance was closed, we could meet your violence with our violence.
So again, thinking through this, kind of thinking of it as a thinking piece, where could this be being executed around the globe? Where could this be happening? Think about Africa, austere locations where these exact tactics and techniques could be being implemented. And again, drawing in the enemy into the point where you want them to be.
One on the other side.
Right?
This just gets hot right away. There isn't like a 20-minute build-up like an action film. Literally, they're in the battle, like really quick. I love that.
Let's go the other way. And then for a smoke. Okay.
All right, the drone's airborne.
Lock this down, switch.
Something that's interesting to me with these quadcopter drones is how loud they are. I mean, they sound like a swarm of wasps. So will eventually drones become silent where they, can't be detected with audio? That might be something that's brought into follow-on episodes. All right, so they struck down that first drone that goes in, but look at the surveillance that they just got out of that. So that drone actually getting through the door and getting in there, seeing what's going on in that room, that's likely going to pass a lot of information to those that may want to get into that room.
It was cool to see you guys get a drone into a building on the very first iteration.
Yeah.
Then you adapted really well based on the feedback you were getting from that drone and the fire coming from inside the building.
No, you heard him in there, didn't you?
I heard him in there. He might have gone out.
All right. You got your other smoke?
Yep.
Yeah.
I love how you can hear the communications between these team members. I mean, it's like high-level communication in fighter jet formations where you're talking about, hey, what target's up next? Watch your six, things like that. So we're getting brought into the actual communication of these high-level teams, which is cool.
All right. All right, you have to make a move.
Yep.
This is about to get spicy. Man, those smoke bombs, those really help. That helps a ton. I mean, running through clear open space like that, who knows, in a place you could get ambushed, just thinking through that and having this smoke and using it as a screen. Again, little things like that that might seem obvious, but that you think about and you talk about with your teammates, we're seeing that play out real time.
All right, ready? We're gonna have to roll it. Yep. Go.
Wow, they took one down, took an alpha down.
Far north.
Okay.
All right, door ready?
Yep. Then we're going.
Fuck. I'm hit.
Took down an X-ray. One dead on each side so far.
Rack grenade.
And then you got a dude in the stairwell who's just waiting, just sitting there waiting. He's like, walk in and find out. He's just like, let me see you walk into this room right now. By the way, this is like Call of Duty, but better. It's real. It's actual people executing these missions. It's so cool. That's going to be a tough stairwell to get through. Again, here, when it comes to these high-stakes scenarios, patience is huge. Having a dialed-in nervous system where you're not overreacting, you're taking in all the information, and you're taking in information from your sensors as well. Calm, cool, and collected, name of the game. Nice. So he kicked out that smoke that was in there, basically saying, not on my watch, not today.
Here right now, I'm in this like Mexican standoff. Like I know there's a threat at the breach and I know I got a guy upstairs and I'm just trying to build my own defensive position so I can get a drone inside because it's gonna be really hard for me to fight up the stairwell. And I know that there's Alpha Team outside that's just waiting for that moment for me to expose myself and get in there and eliminate me.
He's thinking 4D chess, right? He's thinking, how do I get the drone inside? You know, what's the ripple effects? What's the after effects? Again, being able to battle lab this out, and when they chime in these special operators during the missions themselves, you're getting in the mind. You're getting in the mindset of what they're thinking through.
Your internal burn.
This dude's up there just waiting on that drone. Woo! See you right there, man. That's just such high stakes. One wrong move and you're done. Nice. And then he goes up above the stairwell. Dang. Yep, that one's going to be a hard one to fight against.
So that's a wrap on lane one, on scenario one. Obviously, Alpha Team dominated in this first run through on defense. Jared, why did that happen?
I mean, essentially just building, using the tactics that we know that work really well defensively, right? In this case, it was static defensive positions with overlapping sectors of fire.
Yep.
The reason we built that sort of redundancy in is because if communications failed, and they did, that everyone could still react to what they were actually seeing and support one another.
Right. Pretty big gap in the score there at the end, Phil. So X-Ray obviously got smoked, right? What were the main learning points that you're going to take into the second iteration?
Yeah, so violence of action, and we've got to work through that synchronization drill of getting the drones inside.
Yep.
Because Alpha Team did such a good job concealing themselves, but they were able to do that because they're on the defense.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Dang, that's awesome. So I love the very honest debrief at the end and actually pulling out the different lessons that are learned. And you've got these high-level operators that are being very honest and authentic. I mean, no one wants to lose, right? But just having them at the end kind of give you the lessons learned, what the battle lab debrief points are for that section, and then moving on to the next one. Really cool, action-packed series, really fun to watch. Again, just reminds me of gladiators battling it out in a coliseum. So there you go, guys, Battle Lab. It's made by Reveal in partnership with Jedoc, and it is streaming right now on VetTV. And you can see why this is quickly becoming one of my favorite shows. So go to the link in the description to check out the episodes of Battle Lab. You'll be glad that you did. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video. This is Ryan, also known as Max Afterburner, signing off.